You're driving home after a long day. Tears are sitting at the edge of your eyes, but you're holding them back again. You did your best. You showed up for everyone. But somehow, it still wasn't enough. You feel drained, invisible. And just as you're about to break, the sky opens up. A sudden beam of light cuts through the clouds. Your favorite song, one that reminds you of peace, comes on the radio. And you feel it. A warmth that has no explanation. A calm that doesn't match your circumstances. A whisper that says you're not alone. If you've ever had a moment like that, where you felt seen, protected, or guided by something you couldn't explain, drop a comment below and say, "Thank you, Archangel Michael." Because that moment wasn't random. It wasn't just a coincidence, it was divine protection. And today, you'll uncover the sacred signs Archangel Michael is sending you to remind you that even when life feels heavy, you are always held, you are always guided, and you have never been without angelic protection. How divine protection often feels before you recognize it. Most people think protection from the divine will feel obvious, a loud warning, a miracle moment, a dramatic rescue. But real divine protection, especially from Archangel Michael, it often feels like nothing, or more accurately, it feels like something that didn't happen. Sometimes protection is the door that didn't open. You prayed for that job. You were perfect for it. You needed it, badly. And when you didn't get it, you felt crushed. You wondered what you did wrong. You questioned your worth. You cried. You got angry. You may have even said, "Why is God silent right now?" But months later, you learned that company folded, or the work environment was toxic, or something even better opened up in a different direction. And only then, after the sting faded, did you realize you were being protected the entire time. Michael didn't fail you. He stood between you and a path that wasn't yours, even when you didn't understand. Sometimes protection looks like a relationship ending you weren't ready to let go of. You loved them. Maybe you still do. But something inside you knew that staying was shrinking your soul. You begged for it to work. You begged for them to change. But slowly, the connection faded. And in the silence, you found yourself again. In the space they left behind, you began to heal. Not because you wanted to, but because you had to. And you realized later that goodbye was the most sacred form of protection you never asked for. Because Michael doesn't just guard your physical body, he guards your purpose, your peace, your becoming. Sometimes protection sounds like a no when you begged for a yes. You wanted the offer, you wanted the yes, you wanted the outcome you were sure would fix everything. And yet, silence, or a gentle, quiet, "not now," and it hurt. But what you didn't know at the time was that every delay was a divine pause, not to punish you, but to position you. Michael's protection isn't just about keeping danger out, it's about keeping you in alignment with your highest good. And sometimes that means blocking things that feel good in the moment, but would cost you deeply in the long run. Sometimes protection feels like the stillness that surrounds a decision. You've had moments where chaos swirled around you, but a strange, sacred calm washed over you right when it mattered most. A moment where you just knew, "I need to walk away. I need to choose this path. This is the moment to stay still." No logic, no spreadsheet, no external confirmation, just a steady voice in your spirit that said, "You are safe. Trust this." That voice? That presence? That's protection. That's Michael. Divine protection doesn't always announce itself loudly. It's not fireworks. It's not a booming "don't go." It's not always physical rescue. It's often a missed call that changed everything. A gut feeling that helped you avoid a situation you didn't even know was dangerous. A canceled plan that kept you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. A subtle delay that led to a divine connection. A stranger's words that felt like they were written just for you. It's grace that moves in silence. It's the unseen hands rearranging your path so that what is not meant for you never finds you, even when you're still figuring out what is. Think of it like this. Imagine a mother walking with her child near a steep edge. The child doesn't see the drop-off. The child is chasing a butterfly or a ball or running towards something exciting. The mother doesn't panic. She doesn't yank the child away roughly. She simply steps forward and places herself between the child and the danger. She becomes a shield without even being noticed. That's how your angel protects you. Not with loud commands, but with positioning, with presence, with divine interruption. You may not always recognize it in the moment, but later looking back, you see it for what it was: a rescue, a redirection, a loving no, a sacred yes, a shield in silence. Even when you didn't ask, even when you didn't know you needed it. And that's why it's so easy to miss, because the protection of Archangel Michael is rarely showy. It's not about proving a point, it's about preserving your path. And that means that often, when you feel the most abandoned, you were actually the most covered. Even when you didn't feel him, Michael was ahead of you, clearing the way, removing what would have delayed or harmed you, aligning the timing, the relationships, and the opportunities, so that when you arrived, everything would be ready for you. He doesn't just protect your body, he protects your becoming, he guards your destiny, he shields your soul's highest timeline. The gentle signs Archangel Michael is near, and you're being protected. Now that you understand how divine protection often hides in what doesn't happen, let's talk about what does. Because while Archangel Michael's protection is often invisible, his presence is not. He leaves a trail, a feeling, a series of sacred signs that say you are not alone. But these signs aren't loud, they're intimate. They show up when your soul is soft, when your heart is cracking open, when you're wondering if anyone, anywhere, sees you at all. Let's go deeper into how Michael reaches out to let you know you're being shielded, you're being guided, and your prayers are not floating in the void. They're being answered in ways your heart will recognize. Number 1, a sudden stillness during inner chaos. This is one of Michael's most subtle but powerful signs. You may be caught in a whirlwind of emotion, spinning with fear, grief, anxiety, or even panic. Then suddenly, something shifts. It's like your heart exhales, your body softens, and for just a moment, everything goes quiet inside. Nothing changed on the outside. The bills are still there. The relationship is still uncertain. The future is still unknown. But somehow, you're calm. That's Michael, wrapping his energy around your nervous system, holding your inner child, creating a still space so your soul can breathe again. His presence doesn't fix everything in an instant, but it gives you enough peace to move through the moment instead of breaking under it. 2, the appearance of blue or violet light, even just for a second. You might see it in meditation, in your peripheral vision, in a photo, or simply feel drawn to those colors more than usual. Blue is Michael's sacred frequency. It's the energy of courage, clarity, protection, and divine strength. Sometimes you'll notice a blue orb in a picture you can't explain. Sometimes you'll light a candle and see the flame flicker blue for no reason. Sometimes the sky will part in a way that feels personal. It's not random. It's not just color. It's his signature. A reminder that the light is with you, even when the path ahead is foggy. 3, feathers, numbers, and repeating symbols at the exact moment you need them. You're crying, asking heaven for a sign, and a white feather appears. You're walking into a job interview, nervous, and you see 444 on the elevator display. You're doubting everything, then someone you barely know says the exact phrase you needed to hear, like they were reading your soul. Coincidence? Not a chance. These signs are synchronized moments of grace. Michael uses them to let you know, I heard you. You're not going through this alone. Keep going, I'm here. And often, these signs show up when you're at a breaking point, not to stop the storm, but to remind you there's shelter in the middle of it. 4, that gut feeling that doesn't go away. Sometimes Michael won't speak through feathers or numbers. He'll speak through something much more personal. Your inner knowing. You'll feel it as a sudden no in your gut, a whisper not to go somewhere, a strong sense that something's off even if everything looks fine, an unexpected peace when you're making a hard choice. It may not make sense at the time, but later you'll look back and think, that moment changed everything. Michael is the angel of truth and divine clarity, so when something feels deeply right or unshakably wrong, don't ignore it. He's not just protecting your body, he's guarding your path. 5, comforting dreams and visions that stay with you. Have you ever had a dream that felt more real than waking life? Maybe you saw a glowing figure. Maybe you heard the words, "You're safe now." Maybe you woke up with a sense of peace you couldn't explain. Michael often speaks in dreams. He appears not to confuse you, but to remind you that even when you're sleeping, your soul is protected. His presence lingers, It doesn't fade when the dream ends. It weaves itself into your waking moments and creates a thread of calm that carries you through the day. 6. A feeling that someone bigger is holding you. Sometimes it's not a sign you can name. It's just a feeling. You're standing in your kitchen. You're folding laundry. You're lying in bed in the dark, praying through tears. And suddenly, you feel like someone is there. Not in a scary way, not in a fantasy way, but in a way that feels sacred. Like something strong and kind just wrapped its arms around your spirit. Like you're safe, really safe, for the first time in a long time. That's Michael's embrace. A moment of divine covering. No words, no logic. Just a truth your soul knows without question. I'm not alone. Why these signs matter so much, especially during the hard moments. You may not always recognize these signs in the moment. Sometimes they feel too small, too quiet, too easy to brush off as coincidence. But the more you slow down, the more you notice. They were there all along. Michael isn't waiting for you to be perfect. He's not waiting for you to earn his protection. He's waiting for you to notice that you're already surrounded by it. And when you do, your entire world begins to feel different. The fear softens, the loneliness lifts, the confusion begins to clear. You realize you've never really been unprotected. You were just unaware of how deeply you were being held. Why it's so easy to miss Archangel Michael's guidance, even when you're desperate to hear it. Here's something that no one really talks about. You can love the angels. You can pray with your whole heart. You can desperately want guidance from Archangel Michael and still feel like you're getting nothing in return. No sign, no message, no feeling. Just silence. And that silence, it can feel crushing. You start asking questions like, am I doing something wrong? Why can't I hear anything? Have I fallen out of alignment somehow? Is Michael even listening to me? But here's the truth no one tells you. Michael never stopped whispering. The world just got louder. The world trains you to tune out what's sacred. From the moment you wake up, notifications flood your phone. Your to-do list kicks in before your feet even touch the floor. You're already thinking about everyone else's needs before your own. You're surrounded by urgency, comparison, pressure, noise. And in the middle of all that, Michael whispers. Not to compete, not to overpower, but to invite. His guidance is always there, but it speaks a different language than the chaos around you. And that language is stillness. The pain of wanting guidance but not knowing how to receive it. You know what it's like to pray for a sign and get nothing obvious? To sit in silence and wonder, is it just me in here? You second-guess every feeling. You doubt your intuition. You keep asking for clarity while feeling more confused than ever. It's not that you're disconnected. It's that your energy has been so busy surviving, you forgot how to listen. Michael's presence doesn't rush in and demand attention. He waits for the moment your heart softens enough to recognize what was always there. Relearning the sacred art of listening. Receiving angelic guidance isn't about being more spiritual. It's not about meditating for hours. It's not about forcing connection or chasing signs. It's about realigning your energy. It's about creating space in your day, even just 5 minutes, to be still. Letting go of the pressure to do it right. Listening for the gentle tug, not the thunder. Trusting that if you feel drawn to angelic presence, it's because they're already near. And most of all, it's about remembering that divine guidance often sounds like your own voice after it's been cleared of fear. Michael's voice isn't far away, it's just underneath the noise. Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet lake. At first, you hear nothing but stillness. Then, the breeze, the birds, the ripple of water. They were always there. You just couldn't hear them until everything else went quiet. That's what tuning into Michael feels like. Not effort, not performance, but returning. And once you do, the guidance comes quickly, clearly, lovingly. And that's where the shift begins. If you're ready to stop second-guessing yourself, if you're ready to feel confident in your connection, if you're ready to finally hear the guidance your angel has been sending you for weeks, months, even years, then what you need isn't more pressure. You need a sacred way to realign with what's already here. And that's exactly what's waiting for you next. When you're ready to hear the whisper, the divine next step awaits. So here you are. You've felt the signs, you've survived the storms, you've prayed, waited, hoped. You've looked up at the sky and whispered, Michael, If you're there, please show me. And maybe that's why you found this message today. Because your angel's been speaking all along. You just needed a sacred space to finally hear him again. And now, that space is ready for you. Welcome to the sacred experience of Celestial Whispers. This isn't a course. This isn't another thing to study or get right. This is a divine invitation to finally feel the protection, presence, and peace of Archangel Michael in your daily life. Celestial Whispers is your personal reconnection to his loving voice. It's the space where the world grows quiet and heaven becomes clear again. Inside this angelic experience, you'll be guided to recognize subtle angel signs and messages you've been overlooking and feel confident in interpreting them. Realign your spiritual energy so you can receive guidance without second-guessing every nudge or intuition. Strengthen your trust in Michael's presence, which is even when you don't feel anything yet. Clear out the emotional noise that keeps you from knowing what's divine and what's just fear. Create sacred rituals to call on Archangel Michael daily for protection, direction, and inner peace. What you'll walk away with: a renewed spiritual sensitivity to divine signs, the ability to discern Michael's whispers from your own thoughts, a sense of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, the knowing that you are protected, not just sometimes, but always. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been, a soul divinely loved, a heart fully guided, a woman always protected. If you feel drawn to this, it's not random. Michael works through nudges, and the one you're feeling right now, that stirring in your chest, that warmth in your heart, that voice saying, "This is for me," that's him. This is your moment to receive what you've been asking for. Click the link in the description and open the door to Celestial Whispers now. Let the distractions fall away. Let your spirit tune in. Let the guidance flood in like light through a crack you almost forgot was there, because you're not waiting for a sign anymore. You are living inside one. If you made it here, if your heart is still with this message, comment below and say, "I'm ready to hear my angel." Let it be your prayer. Let it be your activation, because Archangel Michael has been walking with you your entire life. And now, finally, you're ready to walk with him. No more doubt, no more disconnection, no more wondering if you're missing something sacred. Click the link, enter Celestial Whispers, and come home to the guidance you were always meant to live with. Because the whispers are here, the protection is real, and the next chapter of your divine journey is ready to unfold.